The topic of today's discussion is analogies and reverse analogies. Let us have a look at the strategies and practice for any verbal aptitude exam. The approach to solving analogies should be, you should first identify the relationship. Determine the link between the given pair, that is, for example, synonym, antonym, part or whole, cause or effect or function. Form a connecting sentence. Create a sentence that clearly explains the relationship. This helps in applying the same logic to the answer options. Apply elimination. Rule out options that do not fit the exact relationship. Double check logic. Ensure the chosen pair maintains the same relationship as the original. Approach to reverse analogies. Analyze the options first. In reverse analogies, you are given multiple pairs. Identify the common relationship across them. Match with the base pair. Choose the pair that mirrors the original pair's relationship most closely. Now let us have a look at the tips for quick solving. Categorize relationships. Common types include synonyms or antonyms, cause and effect, part and whole, tool and user, function and object, etc. Build vocabulary. A strong vocabulary improves speed. Practice regularly. Exposure to diverse analogy types sharpens pattern recognition. Analogies are a fundamental component of any verbal aptitude exam and reading comprehension. They assess a candidate's ability to identify relationships between words or concepts. Reverse analogies, though less common, require test takers to deduce the relationship from given options that best match a provided pair. Now let us have a look at the 25 examples of analogies and reverse analogies, each accompanied by answers and explanations to aid your preparation. First one, tree is to forest, star is to galaxy, because a forest is a collection of trees and a galaxy is a collection of stars. Second example, pair is to brush, writer is to pen, because a painter uses a brush to create art just as a writer uses a pen to write. Bird is to fly, whereas fish is to swim. Justification, birds fly and fish swim. Both pairs describe the primary mode of movement for each creature. Knife is to cut, whereas pen is to write, because a knife is used to cut and a pen is used to write. Both pairs describe the primary function of each tool. Glow is to hand, sock is to foot, because a glow covers a hand and a sock covers a foot. Both pairs describe items worn on body parts. Cat is to meow, dog is to bark, because cats meow and dogs bark. Both pairs describe the characteristic sounds made by these animals. Fire is to hot, ice is to cold, because fire is associated with heat and ice is associated with cold. Both pairs describe temperature characteristics. Teacher is to school, whereas doctor is to hospital, because a teacher works in a school and a doctor works in a hospital. Both pairs describe professionals and their workplaces. Eye is to see, whereas ear is to hear. Eyes are used to see and ears are used to hear. Both pairs describe sensory organs and their functions. Sun is to day, whereas moon is to night. Here the sun is prominent during the day and the moon is prominent during night time. Both pairs describe celestial bodies and their associated times. Book is to read, whereas music is to listen. Books are read and music is listened to. Both pairs describe forms of media and how they are consumed. Car is to garage, aeroplane is to hangar. A car is stored in a garage and an aeroplane is stored in an hangar. Both pairs describe vehicles and their storage places or parking lots. King is to crown, whereas judge is to gavel, because a king is associated with a crown and a judge is associated with a gavel. Both pairs describe figures of authority and their symbols. Clock is to time, whereas thermometer is to temperature, because a clock measures time and a thermometer measures temperature. Both pairs describe instruments and what they measure. Author is to book, artist is to painting, because an author creates books and an artist creates paintings. Both pairs describe creators and their creations. Farmer is to plow, barber is to scissors, because a farmer uses a plow and a barber uses scissors. Both pairs describe professionals and their tools. Fish is to gills, whereas human is to lungs. Fish use gills to breathe and humans use lungs. Both pairs describe organisms and their respiratory organs. Bicycle is to pedal, whereas boat is to oar. A bicycle is propelled by pedals and a boat is propelled by oars. Both pairs describe modes of transportation and their means of propulsion. Architect is to building, whereas composer is to symphony. An architect designs buildings and a composer writes symphonies. Both pairs describe creators and their works. Doctor is to patient, whereas lawyer is to client. A doctor attends to a patient and a lawyer represents a client. Both pairs describe professionals and the individuals they serve. Cup is to saucer, whereas bowl is to plate. A cup is placed on a saucer and a bowl is placed on a plate. Both pairs describe dining ware and their corresponding pieces. Lightning is to thunder, flash is to bang. A lightning is followed by thunder and a flash is often followed by a bang. Both pairs describe events and their subsequent occurrences. Conductor is to orchestra, whereas captain is to ship. A conductor leads an orchestra and the captain leads a ship. Both pairs describe leaders and the groups they lead. Now let us have a look at the types of analogies. Recognizing the various types of analogies can aid in quickly identifying the underlying relationships. Common types include synonym analogies, words with similar meanings. Example, happy, joyful, sad, melancholy. Antonym analogies, that is words with opposite meanings. For example, hot, cold, day, night. Part 2 whole analogies, that is a component and its larger entity. Example, wheel is to car, whereas petal is to flower. Cause and effect analogies refers to an action and its consequence. For example, exercise is to fitness, whereas study is to knowledge. Functional analogies refers to an object and its purpose. For example, knife is to cut, whereas pen is to write. Degree of intensity analogies, where words that differ in intensity. Example, warm is to hot, cool is to cold. Now let us have a look at the strategies for solving analogy questions. To effectively tackle analogy questions in any verbal aptitude exam, you have to first identify the relationship. Determine the connection between the words in the given pair. Formulate a sentence. Create a simple sentence that captures the relationship, aiding in applying it to the answer choices. Eliminate irrelevant options. Dismiss pairs that do not exhibit the same relationship as the original pair. Consider multiple meanings. Be aware of words with multiple meanings to avoid misinterpretation. Sample analogy questions. Doctor is to hospital, teacher is to school, or book or student or classroom. So the correct answer is school, because a doctor works in a hospital. Similarly, a teacher works in a school. Second example, bird is to fly, whereas fish is to swim. Other options are walk, dive and crawl. The correct answer is swim, because birds fly and fish swim. Both pairs describe the typical movement of the creatures. Third question, pen is to write, whereas knife is to, is it cut or paint or stab or carve? The correct answer is cut, because a pen is used to write and a knife is used to cut. Both pairs relate an object to its primary function, not how it is being misused. Analogies are a vital part of any verbal ability section, evaluating a candidate's understanding of word relationships and logical reasoning. By familiarizing yourself with different types of analogies and employing effective strategies, you can enhance your performance in this area. Regular practice using the resources will further solidify your skills and boost your confidence for the exam. So in analogies or reverse analogies, the main aspect that you should focus on is to first identify what relationship does the main word have, and based on that you have to identify similar relationship with the options word. Thank you.